A very warm good morning to everyone taking part in the fifth day of 7-day Faculty Development Program FDP. I am Mahima Kumari. It is my great honor, pleasure to host this 7-day International Faculty Development Program. And I would like to thank our principal for giving me this opportunity. Honorable Chief Patron, Mr. Manish Kumar Kapsine, Chairman, Grizzly College of Education. Honorable Patron, Mr. Avinash Kumar Seth, Secretary, Grizzly College of Education. Honorable Patron, Dr. Sangeeta Kumari, Deputy Director, Grizzly College of Education. Honorable Speaker, Dr. Sabir Ahmed Chaudhary, Honorable Convener, Professor B.C. Swain, Principal, Grizzly College of Education. I, on behalf of Grizzly College of Education, welcome the teacher educators, principals, teachers, and participants from all over the globe in this 7-day International Faculty Development Program on teaching pedagogy, recent trends in teaching learning process. Grizzly College of Education was founded in 2009 with the visionaries and wise guidance of Honorable Mr. Avinash Kumar Seth and the Honorable Mr. Manish Kumar Kapsine to provide quality education. The college was recently accredited by the NAC under the supervision of Honorable Deputy Director Dr. Sangeeta Kumari and collaborated with many esteemed organizations. Now it's time to invite our Honorable Convener, Principal, Grizzly College of Education to welcome our dignitaries. Thank you.
Good morning to all those participating in this International Faculty Development Program. Esteemed Chief Patron Mr. Manish Kumar Kapsi, Chairman, Grizzly College of Education. Esteemed Patron Sri Avinash Kumar Seth, Secretary, Grizzly College of Education. Esteemed Patron Dr. Sangeeta Kumari, Deputy Director, Grizzly College of Education. Esteemed Professor Sabir Ahmed Chaudhary, I welcome all participants from India and abroad on behalf of the organizing committee of this International Faculty Development Program on teaching pedagogy, recent trend in teaching learning process. Grizzly College of Education is an institute of repute established under the visionary and prolific guidance of Mr. Avinash Kumar Seth and Mr. Manish Kumar Kapsine, which has been impacting quality teacher education since 2009. It is my great opportunity to introduce the Honorable Speaker, Professor Sabir Ahmed Chaudhary, a man of great credential as a scholar as well as practitioner in the field of human rights, election, governance, democracy, and peace and conflict studies. He studied public administration at his undergraduate and graduate level at the University of Dhaka and accomplished MPhil degree from the University of Bergen, Norway, conducted research on people's participation in the context of Bangladesh. With his exhaustive research on democracy protection institution, Dr. Muhammad was awarded PhD from Latrobe University, Australia, and thus he made an elegant appearance in the field of democratic governance. He started his career as a lecturer of public administration, University of Rajshahi. Later, he joined in the Department of Peace and Conflict Studies, University of Dhaka, and now serving in the same department as an associate professor. As a consultant, Dr. Sabir carried out different projects of UNDP, UNEPA, National Human Rights Commission, Bangladesh Civil Service Administration Academy, Bangladesh Police, RAB, HQ, Planning Commission, Social Science, Research Council, etc. He also authored two books and many research articles published in national and international peer-reviewed journals. Moreover, as a divisional coordinator, a Jyotio Nirbachan পর্যবেক্ষক পরিষদ Dr. Sabir leads election observation in this country and play a tremendous role in advocating democracy, human rights, and peace. He has a wide variety of experience as a training resource person for BPATC, EPMI, Bangladesh Police, PKSF, PIB, NITOR, JNIPOP, etc. He is also regularly appearing in the TV talk show as an expert on election, democracy, political parties, local government, and peace and conflict studies. It is because of you, sir, that the webinar will receive a different status. Thank you so much, sir, for your gracious presence. Thank you, sir. Namaste.
This is very unfortunate that our speaker is somehow lose their connection. It is somehow our speaker lose their connection. So let's proceed ahead. Let's to know some significance of FDP. Faculty Development Program (FDP) aims at equipping teachers with skills and knowledge that are essential for inculcating professional values in students and guiding and monitoring their progress towards professional career. It aims to focus on different modes of approach in order to meet the professional challenges of life in order to become not merely a trained professionals but also a better citizens. FDP helps the capacity enhancement and continuous knowledge upgradation training program for people working in different capacities and roles. These programs build research, training, and administration competence for holistic development of teachers. The Grizzly College of Education always takes initiatives and enhancement the abilities of faculty. Faculty development should be at the heart of any higher education institution in order to foster a productive culture. Now it's time to call the one who is a man of great credential as a scholar as well as practitioner in the field of human rights, election, governance, democracy, and peace and conflict studies. Dr. Sabe was awarded PhD from Ladrobe University, Australia, and thus he made an elegant appearance in the field of democratic governance. Now, we are fortunate enough to invite Honorable Speaker Dr. Sabir Ahmad Chaudhary on screen. Please, sir.
Thank you.
It's all over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a nice pleasure for me to attend the conference of Grizzly College of Education, Jharkhand. I am thanking the Honorable Secretary of this college, Mr. Avinash Kumar Sheth, the Honorable Chairman, Mr. Manish Kumar Kapsain, Deputy Director, Dr. Sanjita Kumari, and Principal, Professor Dr. B.C. Swine. It's a very nice initiative and just connecting scholars from different parts of the country as well as outside of the country. It will definitely boost up the courage, motivation, skill, education, and others of the students. I always love to visit different parts of India and to meet with students from different institutions. It's also uh, very interesting to talk with them, to know about them. Today, I would like to give my lecture on techno pedagogical skill, the role of teachers as a techno pedagogue. Here, this topic is very timely, I think, and interesting because the online teaching method introduced globally, no matter whether it is developing countries or the developing developed countries, for the pandemic situation. But the thing is, as scholars and teachers, we found it very difficult in the beginning for the students, those who didn't have enough experience in connecting themselves in the online platform. So it is necessary to know how to socialize them, how to communicate with them, connect with them, and mostly the pedagogical focus. That's why I think we are going to start this again and again in future because already the students and the teachers are very much familiar uh, with these initiatives. In the beginning, I would like to say something on the pedagogy. So here, where is the I'm trying to show the slide. The file is uploading. Can you see the slides?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, okay. The techno pedagogical skill, the role of teachers as a techno pedagogue. So the thing is, what is pedagogy? The method and practice of teaching, especially as an academic subject or theoretical concept, and all of you know, uh, it encompasses when people talk about the pedagogy of teaching. They will be referring to the way teachers deliver the content of the curriculum to a class. So this is a special kind of skill a teacher should have, and it differs in the beginning of a teaching career. For the professors, there are some sort of different methods and skills gradually the teachers usually develop to deal with. If we just want to know the techno pedagogy, so techno pedagogy refers to electronically mediated courses that integrate sound pedagogic principles of teaching or learning with the use of technology. In the beginning, in most of the cases, the use of technology is not that familiar to the teachers as well as to the students. But the thing is, with the development of different technological tools all over the world, we can say we are using different sort of technology. And I told you earlier, for the pandemic situation, now we are very much familiar with these things. So, in another way, this term, both pedagogical teaching and learning methods, it's important, as well as the motivation and development of student skills. We followed different sort of methods like one-way teaching, interactive sort of education, interactive sort of teaching method, so these kind of things. But the thing, when we are not seeing the students face to face, and they are not very close to us, we can't know their feelings, their understanding. So eye contact and other things are missing. It is a little bit difficult for the teachers to understand, because I believe that we are performer. The teachers are performer, and when they don't understand the understanding level, the enthusiasm of the students, it would be little difficult for them to go through the lectures very well. So they need a feedback mechanism in the class as well, but it's little difficult in the online class. So the adaptability struggle is not, I believe, not for only for the students, but it's also for the teachers. And it is definitely entirely different for students, because the level of interaction with other peer groups, with teachers, these things are a little bit absent. So how can we deal with this situation, and how can we go through it. It's the most important thing. So their resistance to change does not allow them to the online learning environment, because now they are little accustomed with the situation. But the thing is, in the beginning we found that in most of the cases where the students are not that familiar, so there's some sort of resistance, because we know that change brings resistance in many cases. So it was not an exception. If we go through different research, because scholars are conducting different research, in that case the learner behavior and learner profile is very important. So always we need to think the level, I mean the in which stage we are going to give the lectures. So for the school is one thing, for colleges, universities, so these are different sort of different environment, different audience, different level of students. So the learner behavior is important, and definitely um, it will be little different in the rural areas, in the urban areas, the ethnic background and others, the understanding of languages. So these sort of things a teacher needs to have in mind, which will be very important for them to understand. The online teaching things, if we just go through the research of Hampel and Stickler, they identified seven key components for successful online teaching. The basic is the IT competence. So when we are going to introduce this kind of things, the pedagogy and others, we need to ensure that teacher needs to be very confident in using um, this ICT and other things. So it is not that common, because in our country, maybe it's also little similar to different parts of India, the teachers, those who are not that familiar, especially the older people, they are not that familiar with using different sort of technologies. So as well as those who didn't get the opportunity, they need to get training about how to use these things. Don't waste your time, how to connect, because in every program, in every applications, there are different sort of options. So it depends, the IT competence depends on your knowledge. If you don't know how to deal with these things, it would be difficult. So the training is basic. As well as with this training, you need to introduce practice. When they are regular in using this kind of things, it will be very helpful. We see the Google Classroom and other component. There are so many options. So institutions need to organize different sort of training, and the continuity matters here. Uh, the software, different sort of software they're using, so a very good knowledge of these softwares. And the other things, especially I would like to mention the online socialization, which is very important, because to my understanding, if you just give lectures, uh, it is difficult for you. So two-way communication is necessary. it is better for the students to open their video, then the teachers can see who are present there, what is their understanding level. And when it is easier to see your students, you can communicate properly. So it is important, but the thing is the internet speed, the bandwidth and other things, in most of the cases it doesn't allow us to dealing with these things. So a stable internet connection is very important, where policy decision of the government and related organizations is very important. um, the communicative competence, creativity, these things also very important, because it differs one teachers with others when they're dealing with so the teacher needs to develop his own style. But in most of the cases, for the beginners, it would little difficult. So a professor can easily know how to deal with the classroom, how to deal with the students. It is in most of the cases for their experience and technique, they can develop their own style, and which is very helpful for the students. In a face-to-face classroom, students can see their fellow classmates, they can interact, they can share their problems. This sort of online socialization is also very important for their mental health. So the using of face to face education as well as the online mode is in most of the cases are very helpful. But when we need to conduct distant learning or the mostly the online based education, here the students miss the online socializations thing. So if you can separate them in different groups and give them some sort of little task, then it is easier for them to deal with the situation. So this F2F learning, different sort of skill is very important. And facilitating communicative competence, it require task design and tutor interaction. So always we need to think what are the things, what are the strength of face-to-face learning is missing in an online class, and it will help us to develop these pedagogical things. So that's why it is important to know and to deal with. Compton, he identified different requirement and strategies for three type of teachers. Uh, who- so novice teacher, proficient teacher, expert teacher. So that's why he identified these teachers, because he believes that different requirement and strategies are important for these three types of teachers. So here, um, another scholar, he just Lillian G. Cards, developmental stages of preschool teachers, the elementary school journal. So they identified these groups. So for the novice teachers, it is survival stage. They are not very much confident because they are new in this profession. So mostly different sort of experiment, it is not wise for them to try to develop their own style and different sort of experiments. So it is the mostly survival stage. So so advanced beginner stage, uh, consolidation. How do I develop my competence? So this is the stage they are struggling and they need to use. It is little different for the proficient teachers and the expert teachers. I told about earlier about the professors, those who are in this profession for a long time, they can develop their own style, sometimes different sort of method approach they can apply to make the class more interesting. So maturity here, maturity matters. And what impact have I had on the lives of children or the students? It is important. It is important in this case. So for the beginners, I would advise that please just try to go to the lectures, try to make it more interactive. And for every teachers, I believe that you need to give proper handouts, reading materials, uh, and the students make it interesting. In our cases, we use WhatsApp group or some other groups where students very easily communicate with the teachers. If they have question, if they don't understand anything, they can easily communicate. And when students get such kind of platform, it is important. And for online education things, it is important because this interaction makes them more comfortable. In a online classroom, sometimes they feel more hesitate, they don't ask anything, they are in different environment because environment matters. When you are sitting in a face to face method in a classroom, so environment matters here. You are ready, your mind is ready that you are going to learn something from your professors. But in online mode, mostly we are joining from home. Sometimes the students are staying here and there. So a proper environment, the teachers should uh, give them proper instruction, the educational institutions as well, that they need to properly create an environment in their home when they are attending these classes. Because sometimes we see that students are maybe they're busy in the road and some other things. So attitude matters. So institution and the teachers needs to have some sort of instruction from where the student need to attend these classes. Learn from mistakes. A big number of teachers, those are not mostly not foreign countries trained, they have less opportunity. So all of the teachers need to learn from their mistakes and experiment what I was discussing earlier, that it's not for the beginners but the professors. they need to apply gradually different sort of approaches, methods to understand that how they can engage the students, the class. So if they think that it is not that effective, and they need to take feedback, not maybe in the class, maybe in informal discussion with some students, that what are the main problems they are facing in their online classes, what are the things the teacher need to take more seriously, consider differently. So this kind of informal discussion with the students sometimes give you feedback and help you properly. Online questions are time consuming but very sophisticated and user friendly, because the question pattern is also important. The In the online education system, you need to give them more user friendly questions where they need to think, they need to apply their knowledge properly. And the other things they need to access anytime and anywhere, which is important, because you don't know for different sort of reasons students where they're staying, and multiple attempts, automatic savings, these kind of features are very important for them to deal with. So the pattern of lecture as well as the pattern of questions is important here. The thing is, that's why teachers also need to have some sort of training how to prepare questions, how to bring the best knowledge of the students. So these kind of things need proper study, proper research. And I am saying that it differs from person to person, from context to context. Rural and urban context have different sort of methods they need to apply. Challenges in virtual classroom. So when teacher is asking questions to any student, another maybe drop. When this is online teaching, pair teamwork, it is tough. Breakout rooms, because maybe you divided students in different groups, but they suddenly they are dropped for their poor interaction, internet connection, so they miss the discussion. And it takes time, it takes more time in the online classes. Student may start making their way out and sometimes return later, they have the opportunity. That's why mm, students need to open their video camera, it is necessary. And you need to check whether the students are listening to your lectures or not. So attentiveness in the class is very important. Brown and Adler, they always identified that a huge number of students is not good for online teaching method. Small groups are better from learners perspective, because it would be difficult if there are huge students. The teacher can't, the interaction is poor, the teacher can't control the class. So small group is always better for learners perspective. Synchronize oral and visual. So it was, I'm saying earlier, the Wang and Chan, they also say the same thing. The synchronization of oral and visual things are important. And before starting this class, students should invite in dummy classes. because many students, as well as in different online seminars and conferences, we are seeing that sometimes they open the mic, they don't understand about the use of audio. um, Teachers or the rest of the class are listening to different sounds and other things. So this kind of distraction is not that helpful for the teachers and students to be attentive in the class. That's why socialization and proper training is very important. Online LMS system, learning management system, it is developed in different countries, mostly the developed countries. And this current online learning management system is very important. What I was saying, the use of WhatsApp group, Messenger group, discussion group, this kind of things. This platform do not facilitate synchronized interaction, it's true, but it will make your job easier because students get the opportunity to raise their questions or to communicate, which is important. Change of learning behavior. Harrison and Thomas, they said that online communication is superficial and requires time to mature. Gradually, it's improving, developing. Social interaction, bonding, and intimate friendship is different. So the group activities and other things is important. If it is not a pandemic situation, sometimes teachers can call the students for some sort of physical interaction, which will be very helpful for them to know his class fellows, to know the teachers. Face read, lip read is difficult in virtual classroom. What I was discussing earlier, that it is important for the teachers to read the faces, to read the lips of the students. And when you can do it properly, you can process different sort of information, different sort of things very easily. It is also important for the students if they can go through these things or use this technique properly. It will be helpful for them to be attentive in the class. Need more time to know others, it's another thing. So this is the time to rethinking pedagogy. Here I also would like to say something like that. In the offline mode or in face-to-face learning, we are also nowadays using different sort of technology. PowerPoint, the using of PowerPoint or projectors, these things are very common. The computer, laptops, and other things, the sound system, um, these things are very important in the face-to-face learning and the classes as well. So the students should be very friendly in seeing these things. The when you are going to design the classroom, you need to think the proper lighting, the sound, and other things of the room. Otherwise, they can't, from different angles, they can't see the slides properly, they can't be attentive. And use of different technologies sometimes may make them more dependent. So from our experience, we are getting some sort of things that students are always waiting for slides. And in few cases, we are seeing that they are not very much interested to read their reading materials, books, journals, other things. So a slide cannot be a substitute for the books and journals. So in preparing slides, the teachers need to understand that how could they make it different and push the students to know more about their some other important things. So when the teachers is also going to set the question, he or she needs to think properly that the students need to read the books and journals. Otherwise, it would be very difficult, and there will be some sort of tendency which is very harmful for better understanding of the project, better understanding of some other things. So, for the rethinking pedagogy, we are saying that Palmer and Holt, so learner centered approach, mostly teacher driven, and we may call it automated learning resource delivery. So, this kind of rethinking pedagogy is important. Learner centered approach, the teacher should consider that the students is the main thing. If they don't learn properly, if they are not attentive, if they don't uh, want to know more, generate knowledge, generate information, the main message, the main focus of the teaching will be not uh, done properly. That's why the learner centered approach is very important. At present, this system is mostly teacher driven. So, always you need to combine the students, interact with them, give them tasks, and they need to feel that they are part of the learning, and doing different sort of casework practice in the class will make it more interesting and help them to understand their discipline subject very well, and it's also helpful for memorization. That's why these sort of things are very important, and we may call it automated learning resource delivery, uh, which is important. In a nutshell, in this class or in this lecture, what are the things so far we have covered? So, we covered the definition of pedagogy, the techno pedagogy, the different sort of skills, the challenges, adaptability, struggle, the challenges of the students, the challenges of the teachers. Some things are related to government policy, some things are related to educational institutions. The institution can or need to try their level best to solve these kind of problems. So, for better understanding or what we should do, training for teachers is mandatory. Every educational institutions, the government and others should give emphasis in these things. And I also mentioned the practice. So you are giving training, but your educational institutions don't have enough computer, don't have enough devices. It will not that helpful for the students or for the teachers to appropriately apply this kind of knowledge from the training. Blended learning, when you have the opportunity, don't go for different sort of online method only. Blended learning face to face and online is good. Students are in the driver's seat in an online classroom. That's why approach should be different. We also mentioned about the small class size and synchronization of oral and visual method. It's also important. Focus on pedagogy, not only on the platform. So you need to know your platform, but don't think that the platform is the main thing, it will do everything for you. You need to develop your own style, you need to develop your own pedagogical skills. Students in the online class need to see something. Text is universal, and it's not good for the students if you just saying them to open their videos and you are putting it up, then it will not work. That's why the teachers should also connect with them, use the video things. Text is universal. It is better if all of the faculties use the same platform, because then the students will be more accustomed with the platform and situations, and easily they can handle different sort of environment. Teachers need to be creative in preparing questions and using evaluation method, because it is important. These preparing questions, it will give them new sort of instructions and ideas. And I believe that education and institutions need to give proper emphasis here. They need to give them proper training as well, how to prepare questions, how to bring the best of the students, and evaluation method, because you need to understand the different sort of barriers. That's why it is also important for this evaluation methods and other things. So for this understanding and other things, that's all from me for this lecture, because I think we are running out of time. If you have any question, I will try to give more information and more discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. What a wonderful, insightful points you have highlighted through your presentation. I hope participators must enrich their knowledge regarding this topic. Now it's time for highlighted of some your presentation. Firstly, you discuss what is techno pedagogy. Then you tell adaptability struggle entirely different from student research, changing learners profile, Hampel and Sticklers, 7 key components for successful online teaching, Compton, strategies of educator development, learn from mistakes, exercise questions, challenges during virtual classrooms, small groups is better, change of learning behavior, rethinking pedagogy, do or do not, blended learning, focus on pedagogy. Now it's time for question answer session. For this, I would like to invite our next anchor, Ms. Sweta Singh, to over here.
First of all, a very good morning, sir. Sir, so I am proceeding with a question answer session. Our first question by Professor Wagis Duge, Assistant Professor, Will this technology lead to non-productive struggle and frustration? He has asked that will this technology lead to non-productive struggle and frustration?
Okay. So the thing is, I'm trying to answer these questions. It would be better if you just share them in WhatsApp and others because there's some sort of problem in listening properly what you are saying.
Oh, okay, sir.
So share in the WhatsApp, then it would be better for me to respond.
Okay, sir. The next question is, what is the relationship between technology in education and pedagogy? By Professor Saurabh, sir, Assistant Professor.
Okay. So I told and I tried to uh, clearly describe that what is the difference. So pedagogy is the usual things. It's the art of teaching and teaching learning method. But when you are using different sort of technological skills, different sort of skills like computers, internet, interactive whiteboards, these kind of things, uh, we told is techno pedagogy. So pedagogy is the main thing, but the if using of different skills in the technology, that's why we are saying it techno pedagogy.
Now, next question is by Vidula Bhagat ma'am. How might I combine this technology with other tools to grow learning?
Yeah, the thing is here the most important one, and if this is the case, I think the expert teachers only need to apply this sort of approaches because they can develop their own style, own other things, which is little difficult for the beginners. So already we know those who are mature teachers already they know with the using of technology what other things we need to do. It's a different sort of long discussion in a face-to-face classroom. Usually what I think is very important, the throwing throwing of your words, every sentence is important. A teacher need to know that how he needs to control his voice, the rhythm, and other things. Because it matters when you need to attract the students. If you just only standing in one places in a class, it would not that good. So you need to move. So there are many other techno skill and other things, other approaches in a face-to-face classroom, which what we can combine with the technology and others. I believe the mature teachers already know what are the process. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful answer and continuously you are solving the problem. Thanks a lot, sir, and for your wonderful session. We are very grateful to you, sir, and thanks for joining us. And thereby, I'm ending up the session. Uh, Thank you, sir, for your gracious presence.
Uh, Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening to my lecture with patience, and thanks to the audience and others, those put or share interesting questions here. Thank you, everyone.